All right, 29 says a projectile is thrown upward so that its distance above the ground after t seconds is, there's the equation, and they want to know after how many seconds does it reach its maximum height. So think about it, you know, what goes up must come down. It's kind of like Angry Birds, what goes up must come down. And this thing is going to reach a maximum height at the vertex. It's literally a parabola. And since t is acting like your x is here, and the h of t is acting like your y, so we really just need the x coordinate of the vertex. So all I have to do is x is negative b over 2a, although keep in mind x is really t. So that's negative, and the b is the 480 right here, divided by 2 times a is the negative 16. And so it's negative 480 divided by negative 32, which works out to be exactly 15, and the units were in seconds, so it takes 15 seconds for whatever it is they're throwing up in the air to reach its maximum height. All right. And then 30, John owns a hot dog stand, and his profit is represented by P of X equals blah, 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 with P of X being profit and X is the number of hot dogs sold. Now this time they ask, what is the most he can earn? So we're wanting to find the profit. And again, if you look at this, it is, let me switch colors here, orange. This is a negative x squared, so that's a parabola. And the x-axis represents how many hot dogs he can buy, and the y-axis is his profit. So since we're looking for the most he can earn, we're looking at this vertex right here. So this would be how many hot dogs would give him the most profit. So I'm really looking for the y coordinate of the parabola. And you can complete the square on this if you want and put it in the a times x minus h squared plus k form, but it is so much easier just to first find the x coordinate, which is negative b over 2a, and then just plug and chug it into the function. So this would be negative b is 14 over 2 times a is negative 1. I've done this enough now that I wasn't going to highlight it anymore. I was hoping you're picking up on what I'm doing. And so that'd be negative 2, and so I get 7. And so now we're going to go to the profit function, and selling 7 hot dogs would give him the most profit. That seems kind of low, but okay. And so it's going to be negative 7 squared plus 14 times 7 plus 57. And so let's see, this is going to be a negative. 7 times 7 is 49. Plus 14 times 7 is 98. And then if I do the math from left to right, I end up with $106. Okay. Maximum profit from 7 hot dogs. Okay, those must be some amazing hot dogs. 7 hot dogs for $106. Okay. All right, what's next here? 31 says, solve this equation for x. Okay, this equation has fractions in it, and I want to get rid of my fractions. So if you look at the denominators, you got 2, you got x, you got a 4, and you got another x. So my common denominator, or my least common denominator, since 2 goes into 4, 4 covers both the 2 and the 4, and then I have both of these are the same, they're just x. So 4x is my least common denominator. So I'm going to take a 4x and I am going to multiply it times every single, oops, forgot my x, term in the equation. So the first term was a 1/2. The second term was 2 over x. The third term was 1 over 4. And the last was 4 over x. And then you're going to have, you know, stuff cancel out. Let's use a bright pink for this. 2 is going to go into the 4 twice. And then you're left with the 2, the x, and a 1, right? And 2 times x times 1 makes this a 2x. Plus, on the next one, this x cancels that x, so you're left with the 4 times the 2, so that's an 8. On the next one, the 4's cancel. I'm left with x times 1, so that's just an x. And then on the last one, x cancels x, and I'm left with 4 times 4. So this becomes a 16. And there you go. And now I need to solve for x. So I'm going to subtract x to cancel it out on the right. But that means I got to subtract x over here. And now that I've got my x's on the left, I don't want this 8 here, so I'm going to subtract the 8 to cancel it, but I got to subtract 8 over here. And 2x minus x leaves me with an x on the left side of the equal sign, and 16 minus 8 leaves me with an 8 over there. And that should check, because if you come back to the original equation, the only issue that you would have would be is if x equaled 0, because then you'd have a 0 in the denominator and that won't check. But 8 should check if you check it. So, you know. And sometimes if you check it and it doesn't check, you might want to check your check, because we make mistakes in those too. So. All right, before I do the next one, I'm going to stop this video because I'm running out of time on my little timer here. Okay.